Hey guys, myself is Srinika and I'm also a junior BPC student and I opened this channel to help the aspirants, NEET aspirants for 2026 NEET exam. So on my channel, I'll be only explaining botany and zoology. First, I'd like to start with botany, then I'll go further with zoology. So the first chapter, Living World, will be related to both zoology and botany. Let's start. So, the first chapter is living world. What is a living world exactly? Some people say the diversity in organisms is living world. Some people say the animals who live in different habitat it is living world. So, to understand living world better, first we need to know the two classes. We have to know about the two classes, heterotropic and autotropic. And also we have to know about the many phylums which we have. Phylums, not only phylums, we have phylums, classes, order, etc. So let's look into the chapter. So, first, what is metabolism exactly? For learning this chapter, we should know the meaning of metabolism. So the definition of metabolism is sum of total chemical reaction occurs in a living body is called metabolism. So there will be many reactions occurring in our body. They might be physical reactions, they might be chemical reactions, like body, like our growth it is like not temporary, right? So we will be like growing when we were an infant, our body everything was different, our hands, legs, everything, limbs, everything were so small. I mean, our whole body was so small, but as we grew, like our hands and all legs slowly got developed, our hormones got developed. So that's metabolism. So metabolism is the sum of total chemical reaction occurring in our body. Metabolism is of two types, anabolism and catabolism. Usually, anabolism occurs mostly in plants. So, first let's look into anabolism. Anabolism is a constructive process. Constructive process is like there is no kind of breaking down. Instead of breaking down, the particles, like particles get attached to each other, get attracted to each other and form another bigger particle. It is a so hence it is a constructive process, and it goes from simple to complex. It doesn't, I mean, it's nothing but the simpler particles, they like, as I said, it is a constructive process, so the simpler particles get attracted to each other and form complex particles. Complex means like critical particles, and it utilizes energy, ATP. Utilizes means it doesn't like give energy, it utilizes the energy, it takes the energy in the form of ATP. ATP is nothing but adenosine triphosphate, which we learned in class 10th biology respiration chapter. We learned the meaning of ATP. ATP is the is ATP. Plants contain ATP. Example, photosynthesis. As usual, it happens in plants, so the example will be photosynthesis. Even the formula for photosynthesis, even the chemical reaction for photosynthesis, we have already learnt in class 10th in the first chapter itself. The first chapter was nutrition. So 6CO2 plus 12H2O, light and chlorophyll gives rise to C6H12O6 plus 6CO2 plus 6H2O. So the six molecules of carbon dioxide with 12 molecules of water, including light and chlorophyll, form glucose plus 6 molecules of oxygen plus 6 molecules of water. And then catabolism. The opposite of anabolism is catabolism. It is a destructive process. As I said here, anabolism is a constructive process, catabolism is a destructive process. Destructive in the sense the opposite of constructive process. Destructive, it like the molecules or the particles break down and break down and form and like get separated and divide into more particles. So it is a complex, it is a process where complex particles, the critical particles, break down to form simpler. Here simpler particles or compounds unite at get attracted to each other and form complex. But here complex particles, like the bigger particles, the main particles, break down into simpler ones. We can take a biscuit as an example. Like if we think a biscuit is a particle, then in anabolism, if we like join the biscuit parts, it becomes complex, right? The simpler parts are becoming complex. Here if we take a biscuit, we have to break that biscuit, then what it is becoming into simpler parts. So uh, I mean it's nothing but it's that we can take biscuit as that as an example. So it literates energy. It utilizes means it takes energy. It literates means it gives away energy. Example, respiration. Yeah, so it happens mostly in humans. Respiration is what it is literating energy. In respiration, the complex particle here is now glucose. Glucose is the formula of glucose is C6H12O6, gives rise to carbon dioxide plus water. And it what it releases, it literates energy. Here carbon dioxide and water are really are literating, are releasing out of the nose. So in this chapter, we are going to focus more on the taxonomy, means the order of arrangement. So the taxonomy was discovered by APD Candela. This might come in objective, so it's very important to remember who founded taxonomy is APD Candela. Taxonomy is nothing but the order of arrangement of different organisms or diverse organisms. Uh, what comes under taxonomy? Sense their surroundings. Characterization: sense their surroundings is nothing but it's about their habitat, the place where they live or where they're comfortable to live according to their needs and all. Characterization means the characteristics of the organism. I mean all organisms are not the same, right? Identification of the organism. Nomenclature means providing standard scientific name. We'll discuss more in detail about nomenclature later. Classification means like the classification of organisms. So first, what is nomenclature? Nomenclature are of three types: polynomial nomenclature, trinomial nomenclature, binomial nomenclature. So, polynomial nomenclature. Polynomial nomenclature has four scientific names in it: genus, subgenus, species, subspecies. Trinomial nomenclature has three names in it, three scientific names in it: genus, species, subspecies. Binomial has two scientific names: genus and only species. You can just understand by the name, like in which type of nomenclature how many scientific names will be there. So as an example of binomial nomenclature, the scientific name of mango is Magnifera indica. Always remember, the genus name should be capital letter and the species or subspecies name should be in small letter. So obviously the genus here is Magnifera is the genus, indica is the species. If we talk about subspecies, that is trinomial nomenclature, then we can take example as frog. It's not related to botany. Frog comes under zoology, but as an example, you can take frog. Frog. So frog scientific name is Rana tigrina tigrina. Tigrina comes two times in few animals or in few species. The species and subspecies names are same. So here, what is the genus? Obviously, Rana. So here, always species and subspecies name should be in small letters. So this is species and this is subspecies. So now, the characteristics of a living being: growth, reproduction, metabolism, response to external stimuli, or conscious or sense their surroundings, and mounting suitable response and interactions. First, growth. Like I said, not even in humans, plants also have growth. Like a embryo grows into a huge tree. uh, is there a difference between an embryo and tree? Obviously there is a difference. The difference in their style, in their size, and the like way they look and everything. And reproduction, even plants reproduce. Plants plants, the reproductive parts of plants are flowers. Flowers are again of two types: male flower and female flower. Female flower contains the female gametes, and male flower contains the stamen called male gametes. Female flower contains pistil, and male contains stamen. Metabolism, as I said, the sum of chemical reactions in a body is called metabolism. Metabolism is like the sum of the inner changes going in our body, the hormonal changes. We can take example, one of the example as hormonal changes. Response to external stimuli. External stimuli means suddenly if someone comes and beat you, you will like immediately get to know that someone has bet you. Or like if you touch a hot item, then I mean immediately like you'll put your hand back, because you know that the item is hot and it might cause you harm or something. So this is the response to external stimuli. You know that someone is like touching you, or you are giving response to something. Like if someone calls out your name, you'll give immediately response. If someone calls me Srinika, yes, I'll immediately response. That is called response to external stimuli. Or conscious, our consciousness, we can say that. Sense their surroundings and mounting suitable response. Yeah, we sense our surroundings, and we give response to, like if someone asks us something, we give response. Interactions. Interaction, like any kind of interaction. It can be a good interaction or a bad interaction or anything. It can be a useless interaction or a productive interaction, any interaction. These are the characteristics of a living body. Growth. First, I mean, in these characteristics, will learn about growth. Growth. Growth is permanent, irreversible, increases in size, volume, mass, number of individuals, number. Okay, so growth is permanent. Yes, we know growth is permanent. Growth happens in any kind of living body. Irreversible. Once we become adults, can we again reverse ourselves and become a teenager or a kid? We can do that unless we have a Doraemon's gadget, but in the reality, unfortunately we can't do that. So that's growth. Increases in size. We increase in size, like when we were a baby, we must be some like 7 kg or 6 kg. Now what, we can be 50 kg, 55 kg, 60 kg, and so on. Volume, our body size, everything. Yeah. Mass. And number of individuals, number, and anything. Growth in unicellular organisms is through cell division. Unicellular organisms, so by the name we can understand that unicellular means single celled organisms. It happens to cell division, like we know in amoeba. Amoeba is like, let me show you amoeba. So, amoeba doesn't have any shape. We can do whatever stupid we want. to draw. So this is amoeba, and this is the nucleus of the amoeba. This is pseudopodia. Never mind my handwriting. Uh, Not this is pseudopodia. Actually, this is pseudopodia. The surrounding part of amoeba is pseudopodia. Pseudopodia does nothing but it helps in the locomotion. It helps in locomotion of the of the amoeba. So amoeba, what does it do? Amoeba is first of all monoecious, means it has only one gender. It doesn't have any gender like male and female. Amoeba is bisexual, we can say. So amoeba, slowly the molecules in amoeba break down, and amoeba slowly, like, it becomes separate. The And the existence of the parent, like, the disappears, like, there is no more existence of the parent. And then these two, the parent divides and forms two more amoebas, and those amoebas divide and form another four, like, amoebas. So it divides in that way. So like I said, you growth in unicellular organisms is through cell division. Now, growth in multicellular organisms. Multicellular are nothing but the organisms which have more than one cell, like we humans, animals, etc. In plants, the multicellular plants throughout lifespan. Okay. Uh, Throughout plants means like how much, like, the growth in the plants, like, till they, like, die, like the species dies, the growth will be like inevitable, we can say. In animals, up to a certain age, usually they say that after 17 or 18 years or 14 maybe, the height starts, the growth of the height stops. So it can also, it can, we can consider it as an example of this point. Growth from inside means living, in living organisms, in living organisms we grow from inside as well as outside. Growth from outside because of assimilation of particles. Non living, if the particles get assimilated is accumulated, then the growth occurs. So non-living means nothing like, if you break a chair, or if you break a table, then we can say that it's growing because you can make another thing out of it. It's like that. It is not definite property of living. Growth is not a definite property of living. It can come in objective. Okay, the next characteristic of living being is reproduction. Reproduction is nothing but new individuals are formed from the pre-existing ones. It is a biological phenomena. So, uh, like, from a male gamete and a female gamete, a new life or a new offspring is formed, that is called reproduction. There are two modes of reproduction. We already learned about this reproduction in 8th class. They are asexual reproduction, sexual reproduction. What is asexual reproduction? Let's see. Unicellular, it happens in unicellular organism. If it is in unicellular organisms, it is through fission. Like I showed you about the amoeba, it's like that, asexual. Multicellular means like spore formation. Spores formation, like the spores will be formed on the organism, and then the spores will divide. Algae, uh, division, spore formation, and fragmentation. Algae, like, divides, the cells or the body of the algae divides, and like, they increase in number. Spore formation, like I said, use the spores will be formed. And fragmentation is nothing but the cutting of, cutting into two equal halves, fragmentation. So the organism gets cut into two equal halves, or four, anyhow, but any, multiple halves, but the halves must be equal. That is called fragmentation. Bacteria is also fission, like amoeba. Yeast is budding. Budding means like buds will form, and the buds will break when once they are grown completely. Uh, Wait, let me show you budding formation. So, suppose this is an organism. A bud is formed here. Slowly, the bud grows, and then later the bud gets detached from it, and another organism is formed. This is called budding. Rhizopus is again spore formation. Now, sexual reproduction, conjugation, transduction, transformation are sexual like. Gametic fusion, fertilization. uh, these all mean the same. Transformation, like we get transferred, like the sperms of the male get transferred into the female ovum and all. Gametic fusion is for gametic fusion, which leads to fertilization. The male gametes and female gametes fuse and it causes fertilization. It is a definite property of living. So what, growth was not a definite property and reproduction is a definite property of living. Let's once check the ICBN rules, Latin words. ICBN full form is nothing but, if you want to copy it down, you can copy. ICBN full form is Indian Code of Botanical Nomenclature. So the Indian Code of Botanical Nomenclature rules says binomial nomenclature. What is binomial nomenclature? Like I said you, providing scientific name with two words. It was like founded by Gaspard. So the first word must be genus and second word must be species. Example, Magnifera is genus and Indica is species. Magnifera indica is, I said you, mango. The scientific name of mango is Magnifera indica. Here Magnifera is genus. I should always be a small letter and Indica is species or mango plant. Rules. So the rules for so the ICBN rules are: name must be in Latin origin, printed in italics. So the writing should be like a Italian handwriting. Handwritten must underline separately. Yeah. So here Magnifera I unfortunately didn't underline. So here it should be underlined in this way and down it should be written actually genus, and here Indica is species. I did a mistake. Name must have two words or components. The generic name here is like Magnifera and species name Indica. So the first letter of genus name must be capital letter and the first letter of species must be small letter. Genus name must be noun and species name must be adjective. If you know English properly, then you can understand what a noun and adjective. I need not to explain it. So now we are going to learn about the homonym, antonym and tatonym. Homonym. Echinda is a name of organism given by scientist Cuvier. A century later, Fraster, scientist, named Echinida was another organism. Providing same name to different individual is called homonym. Okay, so Echinda is an organism. So Cuvier gave this name Echinda to an organism. But later, echidna was also given by Fraster, a scientist, to another organisms. So, two organisms having the common name is called homonym. We also know what is a homonym in English. So, we can take that as an example of this. We can take that idea in this. Antonym. Example, Panthera tigris. Species and subspecies name are same. Yeah, like Rana tigrina, frog. So this here species and subset tigrina was same. So this is called antonym. Panthera tigris is nothing but a panther. Tatonym. Genus and species name are same. Okay, so the genus name and species name are same. Example, bufo. Naza is the Indian cobra. Pyrus malus is apple. Again, homonym means two organisms having the same name. Antonym means the species and subspecies name are same. Taxonym means the genus and species name are same. Monotypic taxa. Monotypic taxa is means nothing but one genus, one species name only. Like Homo sapiens. Okay, the there is one genus name, one species name. Genus name is different, species name is different. Like Homo sapiens, which means humans, us. So polytypic taxa, one genus, more than one species. Example: Brassica nigrum, Brassica Oleska. Polytypic taxa means the genus name is same and the species name is different. I mean, sorry, there are the two genus, the two organisms have the same genus name, but the species name for those two organisms are different. Now taxonomy categories. First, it starts with kingdom. Example: plantae. There is also we can also take Animalia as an example. Division or phylum: monocot and dicot, spermatophytes. Example: class: polymonials and asterils. Then order: Convolvulaceae, Solanaceae, Polymonials. Family: Solanum, Datura, Petunia, Solanaceae. And last, genus, then species. Species is the basic unit of classification. Example: Magnifera indica, which is mango, and Panther leo, which means tiger. So definition is group of fundamental organisms with different similarities is called species. So a group of fundamental organisms, a particular group of organisms with similarities, with different similarities, is called species. So a species, if they can ask an objective in what is the basic unit of taxonomic categories, then the answer is species. Binomial nomenclature is given by Canvillus van Linnes. No need to remember this much big name. You can just remember Linnaeus. Linnaeus was the founder of binomial nomenclature. Okay. So this is a table. If you want to take screenshot, you can take a screenshot. It's already there in I can NCRT also. NCRT intermediate first year book. Common name is mango. The mango common name. Now bio name is Magnifera indica. Yes, I said you mango is Magnifera indica. Genus is Magnifera. Family is Anidaceae. Order is Cephinols. Class is Dicotyledonnae. Division phylum is Angiosperm spermatophyte. Angiosperm means naked seeds. Housefly. Housefly is bio name is Musca domestica. Genus is Musca. Family is Muscidae. Order is Diptera. Class is insect. Division or phylum is arthropods. Arthropoda is in zoology. We'll discuss in zoology about arthropoda. Man. Bioname for man or human is Homo sapiens. Genus is Homo. Family is Hominidae. Order is Primata. Class is mammalic. Division or phylum is Chordata. Chordata means the animals or species who have a notochord or vertebral column, we can say. The species who don't have a vertebral column or the notochord are called non-chordates. Wheat. Bioname for wheat is Triticum castivitum. Genus is Triticum. Family is Pacea. Order is Poles. Class is Monocotyledonnae. Dicotyledon means has one cotyledon. Monocotyledon means it has two cotyledons. Division or phylum is Angiosperm for spermatophyce. Now the different types of taxonomical aids. Taxonomical aid is nothing but way the different types of taxonomies are like kept or preserved safely. Herbarium. Herbarium is a collection of dried pressed and preserved plants specimens attached in specialized sheets. In herbarium, they take a specialized sheet and they collect the dried and pressed preserved plants, like the dead, we can say dried means like dead the plant species, and they attach in the sheets and they keep it as keep it to show it. Botanical gardens, there are gardens which tell us about botanical botany related stuff like plants and all. Zoological parks like animal zoo parks, national parks, etc. Museums where they keep the old pieces, old saplings and all. Keys, keys exactly I don't know, but I guess they are also the places where they preserve plants. The largest herbarium, this is very important. The largest herbarium is Royal Botanical Garden, RBG, in Kew, London, England. But the largest botanical garden. The largest botanical garden in India is Indian Botanical Garden is in Haurali. Haurali is in West Bengal. National Botanical Garden, Lucknow. Lucknow is in UP. Haurali is Indian Botanical Garden is in Haurali, Bengal. National Botanical Garden is in Lucknow, which is in UP. And the largest botanical garden in the world is Royal Botanical Garden, or RBG, in Kew, London. So, guys, that's it for today. If you understood or liked my explanation, please subscribe my channel, like my channel, and share it to your intermediate friends. Thank you. Bye. Have a nice day, guys.